Scientists vote that the Earth is flat.
You can control a people by secret influence. That goes on to say under charm, to subdue by secret power, especially by that which pleases and delights the mind. So under charm there it says power to subdue opposition and gain the affections. But remember in the story of Wizard of Oz, how the Wicked Witch was having difficulty subduing her opponent. And finally she said,
I know what I shall do. I take this crystal ball.
She spreads her hands across the crystal ball,
And she creates a lovely poppy field. Oh, so beautiful.
and Dorothy, the lion, the scarecrow, the Tin Man, going across this lovely poppy field, fall to what? Sleep. Is it possible that that's not just story? Is it possible that the crystal ball sits in the living room of every home practically in America? And that it comes from a place called Hollywood?
People are always looking for heroes where there aren't any. In the music industry, Hollywood, the politicians, everybody you see on TV, they are part of the rigged reality. Make no mistake about it. Some may appear to be anti-establishment, such as Kurt Cobain, but nothing could be further from the truth. Just a front when he was nothing more than a controlled puppet. He would never have been pushed on TV and had this major record deal if he wasn't a puppet for those that pull the strings from behind the scenes. First off, let's take a look at this quote as I shown before with Jimi Hendrix. Music is not just fun. It's a powerful channel of communication that can be used to influence the conscious and subconscious minds of men. You can hypnotize people with music, and when you get them at their weakest point, you can preach into their subconscious what we want to say. That's what it's all about when it comes to music. So many people, basically, they live their lives, they pattern their lives after their so-called heroes. They pattern their look, their philosophy on life on their favorite idols, not only in Hollywood, but the music industry and those they see on TV. Now, I found this pretty interesting when it comes to Nirvana and Kurt Cobain during this 1992 MTV Music Awards. When they receive an award, take a listen to their acceptance speech. Basically, nothing but mockery. Take a listen to Chris Novoselic and Kurt Cobain, what is said here.
You can't believe everything you see in here now, can you?
You know, it's really hard to believe everything you read.
Just take a look at that face. Look at that big smile. Nothing but mockery. 100%.
Remember Joseph Goebbels.
Now, you heard him say, remember Joseph Goebbels. Now, pay attention to how the audience reacts. I'm sure 99% haven't even heard of Joseph Goebbels, and they seem downfunded, no reaction whatsoever. Just like a bunch of mindless zombies in the audience. They're like, how should we react to that? We're not sure. And basically, what it comes down to is Joseph Goebbels. Propaganda works best when those being manipulated are confident they are acting on their own free will. Okay, that's what it all comes down to. Also, the quote, when it comes to what Kurt Cobain said about you can't believe everything you read with Mark Twain going back in time. If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you read the newspaper, you're misinformed. Kurt Cobain, basically, just like Mark Twain, no hero, another Mason in the game, just more mockery. The same thing with Kurt Cobain here, basically saying this, and you can see the glee in his face when he's talking. Let's play this once again. Just take a look at that smile, just a form of mockery.
To believe everything you read.
Nothing but mockery. He's mocking his fans, his so-called fans that have no clue He is a sellout. Unfortunately, a lot of fans of Nirvana are not going to like this, but this is a sad truth. The lyrics of their songs over the years have been given to them, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more. First off, let's take a look at this quote as well. When it comes to the music industry with David Bowie, who's been in the music industry for decades, rock has always been the devil's music. I believe rock and roll is dangerous. Very, very important to understand. They come out and they even tell you how music is nothing more than basically Satanism. Take a listen to this, also the same exact award show on MTV, just like with Kurt Cobain and Nirvana with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Take a listen to what's taking place here. Basically, Flea is talking in tongues. It's mockery. Now take a listen to what Anthony Kiedis says here.
I'd like to, first of all, I'd like to thank Satan.
He would like to thank Satan. First thing he says. It's pretty easy to understand what's taking place with the music industry. I'm not saying all music is bad, but when it comes to the mainstream music, again, the lyrics for these singers, for these bands, they are given to them from those behind the scenes. They're not going to leave it up to chance to let these artists create their own music. That's why so many people call mainstream artists sellouts, because they change their look somewhat. They change their songs up because, of course, they have sold out, and now they're singing songs that are given to them. And when you see quotes like this with Kurt Cobain, the duty of youth is to challenge corruption, this is the biggest joke. This guy is part of the corruption. I'll demonstrate that right now. Now, taking a look at Nirvana's final album that was released, called In Utero, which basically means in the wound. I'll get more in the occult of this album and Gillian G. Garr in a little bit. But first of all, let's take a look at this photo within the album with the illustration, all the photos inside the actual album here. This is a very infamous image with Kurt Cobain leaning towards the photographer with this curious look on his face. And you see what looks like a P and what looks like an airplane, which many people have seen before. When you flip it over, you get your 9/11 with the airplane. Okay? This is all about the concept of the law of reversal, which I'll get into in a little bit. But first off, let's take a look at the actual shirt without it being covered whatsoever. It's based on Flipper. This is a group from back in the 80s based in San Francisco, California. This is how clever they are. Just covering enough where you see the 9/11 in reverse. Okay, this is all about Satanism, where they learn how to do things opposite, to hide things, to conceal things. Okay, from Crowley goes back even further to Eliphas Levi. I've shown this many, many times. The law of reversal. Learn to write backwards, walk backwards, think backwards. They say the Lord's Prayer backwards in the Satanic Church. This is, again, to conceal things, do things coded. Now, again, take a look at the image itself. Okay. Now take a look here, where there's nothing new under the sun, with Supertramp, another group, another sellout group, and you see the same basic concept. It's like 2 11s in the 9 backwards. You flip it over, and you get your 9/11 exactly, just like Nirvana and Kurt Cobain right here. Okay, people are nothing more than puppets. Okay, now let's take a look once again, and also notice the orange juice, as I mentioned before, which is 33 in numerology. I'm going to show many forms, many, I should say, examples of 33 throughout this matrix, this world, nothing but lies and deception. He's also wearing an orange top. In this image, of course, looking through the side of an airplane window. Okay, now let's take a look at this comparison photo with Supertramp compared to Nirvana. And they're, again, pictorial, they're images from In Utero. Take a look once again, the 9/11 backwards, just like with Supertramp right above the towers. Now reversed, exact same thing. You get your 9/11 with the little airplane over the 9/11. Now understand as well, for those that follow my channel, they'll know this. When it comes to the Twin Towers construction starting in 1968, and of course the towers coming down in 2001, that is exactly 33 years. And that, again, I'm going to show many references when it comes to Kurt Cobain and that number 33. Now take a look here, Donald Trump, another puppet in the game, and you see the 9/11 with this seemingly innocent mattress commercial. How they love to mock, and they put these 9/11 on the sheep. Now many people don't understand the 9/11 reference. It's all about the Bible in Revelation 9:11, where the Antichrist is named as Apollyon or Apollo, the destroyer. The only verse in the entire Bible where the Antichrist is named. Take a look here. Again, the reference with 9/11, and of course, the reference to it being the emergency calling system, which just so happened to be put in play in 1968, the same exact year the tower's construction started. Now, another interesting point, the very first 9/11 call ever made, February 16, 1968, was made in Haleyville, Alabama. Okay, take a look here. You get Haleyville and you get your 33. Again, I'm going to show many, many new references to that number 33. This is basically the devil's number, where it states in the Bible in Revelation how 1/3 or a third or 33% of Lucifer and his fallen angels were thrown down to earth. And they're the ones behind this, all their bloodline are all behind this deception, deceiving the whole entire world. Now, another example when it comes to 9/11 and the sellouts that are all in the music industry. Here's another example with Michael Jackson. You see blood on the dance floor. You see the clouds in the back. They're shaping the form of buildings. You see the Masonic checkerboard. And you see where his arms are pointed. As I shown before, just so happens to be at 9/11. This is how the Satanists work. They love to mock and also giving us warnings before their planned events. This is basically, again, they're psychopaths behind the wheel, controlling things, controlling this world. And this is how they love to mock. And again, giving those that have good discernment warning. But very few can understand this entire concept and don't see what's right in front of them. Now, as I showed earlier with the 1992 MTV Music Awards, found it pretty interesting. Between segments, between awards being presented, they show these race cars. Just take a look what's right in front of you. You got your 311 with these race cars. This is how they love to mock, putting it right in front of your face. And people have no clue what has taken place. MTV, nothing more than Masonic TV. Now, taking a look here, going back in time. Again, I'm going to make a lot of connections when it comes to 33. Of course, with Albert Pike, former Southern general, basically the founder of the KKK, a 33rd degree Mason. He stated himself that Lucifer is the true God. Okay? Again, talking about the KKK, the reason they changed the C to a K, so you get your 11, 11, 11, you get your 33. They all work by the number system. We communicate through letters, through languages. They communicate through the number system. This is the way they operate. Now, one thing interesting about Albert Pike, of course, to get to this level, people behind the scenes, they promoted him to this level. When you have a 33 name, you're going to be promoted in this world. Albert Pike, you get your 33 as well. Okay? You have to have some talent. You have to have something about you. Just having a 33 name is not enough. But if you have a 33 name and you are a sellout, and you go along with the program, you'll make it very high in this world. Now let's take a look at Kurt Cobain once again in Nirvana. What do you see here? The ripped jeans. This is all biblical. Everything they do, there's a reason. This is all about the Bible reference where Moses told his sons not to tear their clothes. Do not have your hair unkept. Look at these guys with their basically sloppy type hair, long hair. And I know what some are going to say. Some people are going to say, oh, Jesus had long hair. That's absolutely false. There's no images in the Bible with Jesus Christ with long hair. Give him the long hair as a form of mockery. 100%. Now, also take a look here with Kurt Cobain's hand sign. This is also the sign of benediction. Another form of mockery. Once again. Now, again, when it comes to Kurt Cobain, let's take a look at his name. Okay? Just so happens to be 33. Again, you will be propped up. The so-called elite behind the scenes believe you have some type of talent. You have a 33 name. You will make it far in this world. Okay, you also get the initials. Get your K and C, which I shown earlier here. The KKK and Albert Pike. You get your K for 11. You get your C for 3. Again, you get your 33 coded. Just like I showed earlier with Kurt Cobain, you get your double 3s both ways with his initials and his full name. And it's not always, when it comes to these people behind the scenes, those that run this world, you can have a first name or last name or full name that equals 33. And I'll give examples of that in a little bit as well. Just like Courtney Love, supposed girlfriend, what do you get here with Courtney? You get your 33. See how they synchronize all this. Also, find it pretty interesting as well when it came to the end of Nirvana, and you have David Grohl here. Let's take a look here what you get. Okay, it's Courtney. You get Dave Grohl. You get Grohl. You get your 33. No doubt a sellout. Just take a look at this image here. You have the trident or devil's pitchfork. He's doing the sign of silence as well, just like so many puppets in the game. You get Darwin, you get Obama, Clinton. Now I'm going to continue on with Nirvana, but before doing so, I want to make sure that people that think this number 33 is just a coincidence, let me break it all down. Again, showing the sign of silence with Charles Darwin, a closer look. This is all Masons, all either Masons or puppets of the Masons in the game. No doubt Charles Darwin was a Mason, propped up, because again, Darwin is 33.
You have to understand the secret societies, the fraternal orders that are operating within our border. And the people who are in power in this country are working for our enemies. They are using the terms and the symbols and the words and the catchphrases of the European secret societies. They are working for our enemies. This is why no matter what you do, nothing is going to work, because the people of this country don't understand the symbols.
A symbol veils or hides a secret, and is that which veils certain mysterious forces. These energies, when released, can have a potent effect.
Jordan, what do they want? Why are they doing this?
It has to do with the objectives of some extraordinarily ancient secret societies, fraternal orders that have in mind the total domination of the human race.
Symbols are a language that can help us understand our past. As the saying goes, a picture says 1,000 words, but which words?
Spencer.
Manipulate the whole human race, and we don't even see it.
The secret is simply the fact that certain of their members worship Lucifer, and that they keep that secret from the overwhelming majority of their own members, and certainly the public is never to know this fact if they can help it. And the evidence to support that conclusion is ample, but only to one who cares enough to look for it.
I've been looking at this one subject of the hidden words, terms, catchphrases, symbols that the Illuminati uses around the world. And I am just amazed how it's right here in America in your face, and people have no idea in the world. We have no idea.
They were brilliant. They're brilliant to be able to hide this.
In plain sight, right in front of you.
We're talking again about symbol literacy generally in life when it comes to advertisements, you see, or media, or video games, or even symbolism, art. It's very important for people to realize the subtextual messages that come across. And since people watch a lot of movies, and since movies are now, in our day and age, you know, $1 million creations, they're in your face, it's actually handy for people to watch them objectively also, like a critic, and see some amazing stuff that's, you know, being told to us through the films.
Deadly fun, but all sulk in the sun, that's it! Devil's Snare hates sunlight. Luma Solem!
And I can tell you now that most of us have been living in fantasy land for all of our lives. We don't even know anything near what the truth of any matter is. We must begin an honest search.
Now, Osiris has as a symbol an eye, and that eye, of course, is the sun. And this eye represents the son of the underworld.
Quote, the arcana, defined as being a secret or hidden knowledge of the ancient mysteries, were never revealed to the profane, defined as those not initiated into the inner mysteries except through the media of symbols.
This symbol in the Egyptian was a ball of light surrounded by radiant rays. Therefore, the sun was radiating in all directions, lifting up everything that came in contact with, bringing death to life out of the earth. That part of the world where the sun was above the horizon was the good part, the life part. Night was the dark part. Night was darkness, mystery, and death. Day was light, brightness, and wisdom.
The symbols and the words, the terms, you start breaking it down. It's in Hollywood, it's in movies, it's in music. I don't even know what to say about this. It's just so overwhelmingly obvious.
Their symbolism is entirely to do with the light. So when we're understanding about the sun, when we're understanding about light, when we're understanding about Luciferianism.
I'm a man who sees life in terms of missions, missions defined, and missions completed. I will not allow this country to be made weak again. I will keep America moving forward, always forward, for an endless, enduring dream and 1,000 points of light.
Their symbolism is entirely to do with the light. So when we're understanding about the sun, when we're understanding about light, when we're understanding about Luciferianism,
1,000 points of light.
1,000 points of light.
But the sun was there as a symbol of order, life, resurrection, fertility, and inwardly of the illumination of the soul.
In all time, truth has been hidden under symbols, wrote Albert Pike. And he also wrote this, symbols are nevertheless ingenious veils that cover the truth.
Once the knowledge was available, nothing could put it back again into secrecy. The only answer to this problem was to keep it secret from the beginning. Now, the problem of secrecy was largely in the hands of a philosophical priesthood, or perhaps we might say a great theological structure.
It's a worldwide thing which is going on, and the people of this earth have no comprehension whatsoever of who's doing it and how it's working. And until we do that, we're just going to keep going further and further in and never realizing who's doing it to us and how they're doing it. It's a very high technology.
The individual who desired knowledge and recognized the need of it was placed under certain restrictions, must take obligations, must prove through long training and discipline worthiness to receive knowledge. It was the purpose of these ancient teachers to make sure that nothing important to the advancement of man could be captured and held by selfishness or ambition or avarice. It was necessary, therefore, to select the custodians of knowledge.
The question of just what the ancient mysteries were, folks, was answered in part by Albert G. Mackey, another 33rd degree Mason. Quote, each of the pagan gods had, besides the public and open, a secret worship paid to him to which none were admitted but those who had been selected by preparatory ceremonies called initiation. This secret worship was termed the mysteries, unquote.
This is the same genuine, magic, authentic crystal used by the priests of Isis and Osiris in the days of the pharaohs of Egypt.
No, it's a pagan god Horus and his mother Isis centuries before the birth of Christ.
Light can conceal. as well as reveal.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
Light can blind and burn, you know, and that's, the Illuminati are calling themselves the men of light, or the princes of knowledge, or the Luciferians for a reason, because they know how to manipulate and use light as a weapon.
Quote, ancient secret doctrine, which is concealed in Masonic allegory and symbolism. It was but to preserve these truths that Masonry was perpetuated, unquote.
Let's take a look. More recently, it's propped up by the media, by those behind the scenes that own and control the media, and that's Neil deGrasse Tyson, and you see the devil horns. Okay? Take a look here. Why is his name Neil deGrasse Tyson? Why are they fitting in his middle name? Because Neil and Tyson isn't 33, but deGrasse is. Okay? Now, take a look here. So I showed before the 311 band, just a creation doing the devil horns. You see the serpent. Let's take a closer look here at one of their album covers. Of course, 3 times 11 is 33. You get the satanic lightning bolt, like it states in Luke chapter 10, verse 18 in the Bible, where Jesus beheld Satan falling from heaven as lightning. Let's take a closer look here as well. Again, the devil horns, 311 Masons. Okay, New Age group. All about Satanism. You can just show them from their song 311 down, and you have the guitarist with the number 33. So make no mistake about it, 311 is all about the 33. Another example with Justin Timberlake, as shown before, with the 2 black females, the 3 and 3. Of course, the KKK. This is again a form of mockery as well. These 2 black females, these models. When it comes to the movie industry, Pulp Fiction, in the pawn shop scene, you get the car. Well, everybody's focusing on Bruce Willis with his bloody shirt. Little car here with the 33 on it. Just their way of saying we own it all. Now, as far as predictive programming when it comes to news stories, you have this movie called Dream House that was released back in 2011, I Kill Them All. Okay? Now take a look here. During the scene of this movie, you have a medical doctor's card, and you have the address of 1103. Of course, again, just coded for 33. See the Sandy Hook, Connecticut. Pointed this out before. With this hoax, this psyop, was supposedly Robbie Parker losing his 6-year-old daughter. Of course, you see him here smiling. The reason they came up with the whole entire concept of his name, Robbie Parker, because Robbie is 33 and Parker is 33. You never saw a single drop of blood, not a single bullet hole in this school. This is nothing but a 100% hoax. And of course, the daughter with the devil horns. Just nothing but a young actress. using the sick and twisted, how they use the youth as far as pushing their propaganda. Now, taking a look here at Calvin Klein, this billboard, of course, again, you get your 311 with CK. Now, taking a look at this comedian, Louis C.K., he had his name altered to Louis C.K. from Louis Zleckley, just to get, again, your 311. Louis 311, nothing but a sellout, nothing but a puppet. His name was not derived from him. It comes from those behind the scenes. Now, going back in time a little bit here, with Superman and Clark Kent, again, CK with Clark Kent. You got Superman with the diamond, basically emblem on his chest. You get your diamond for 33, as I shown before. So CK 33, diamond 33 on his chest. You get Mel Gibson and director George Miller. This is for the filming of Beyond Thunderdome. You see the devil horns. Okay? So you have the director, George Miller. Miller is 33. And you have Mel Gibson, who is 33 as well. Now, another interesting Miller, when it comes to TV shows, is his fictitious character, Barney Miller. You see here in the very opening, they have the Twin Towers. Miller, 33, and the Twin Towers, like I stated earlier, came down after 33 years. Now, I found this very interesting with this one episode going back to 1981. This is how they do it. The world of Freemasonry is the world of opposites. Truth in movies, lies in the news. Take a listen to what is said here. When they arrest the supposed conspiracy theorist, take a listen to what is taking place here.
To plant their own loyal members in positions of power in this country, to work to erase national boundaries and create an international community. George
Take a listen here. He mentions George Bush.
Bush. Now, you remember at the convention, everybody thought it was going to be Ford for Veep. You know what happened? David Rockefeller just picked up a phone, put in a call. Hey, Ronnie, forget Jerry, it's George. Bye. No matter who won in November, they had their man in the White House.
Now, you heard the mention of David Rockefeller during the episode of Barney Miller. Taking a look again at the Twin Towers from Barney Miller. Each tower was 110 stories. It just so happens David Rockefeller's Twin Towers were 110 stories again. In numerology, Rockefeller is 110. You take away the zero, numerology, zeros are nothing. You get your 11 for the Twin Towers. So David Rockefeller is basically 11 for the Twin Towers. Now, carrying on with more members of Club 33, I should call it. Take a look here at Daryl, Hannah, and Splash. You see the orange type mermaid outfit, of course. Take a look here at Daryl, Hannah. You get your 33. Get your 33, you get propped up in this world. Like I said earlier, orange is 33 as well. Now, taking a look here, I found pretty interesting when it comes to Bill Gates during this visit to this tech school. Take a look at what's taking place here.
The design, the software, all this stuff. Cool.
Really quick, he throws up those devil horns. And what do you see in the back here? You see the horn deity looks like a bull in the back. You get a still image here of the devil horns. These people that make it on top of this world, they're all satanic masons. Just take a look at Bill Gates, 33. Okay? For those that don't understand this calculator, I'll include a link in the description below this video. You could download and use this numerology calculator and figure out all the numbers on your own as well. Now, getting back to Bill Gates, devil horns, and you'll understand he's fully aware that his name is 33, of course. Company logo of Microsoft, and you see the hidden 33 in plain sight. Everything's in plain sight in this world for those that have eyes to see. People talk about conspiracy theorists. You don't understand the ones pulling off the conspiracies own and control the TV, therefore own and control your mind. Of course, this 33 conspiracy is nothing new. It goes way back in time to the very beginning. Let's take a look here. Another example with Monty Hall. You see here throwing up the 666 hand sign. The esoteric meaning is 666. The exoteric meaning for the public is just A-OK. There's two meanings, one for the public and one for those behind the scenes that own and control this world. The masses have been given false meanings for everything. This is, again, the whole concept of keeping the masses under control, keeping the masses ignorant. And again, the basis of human control. That's what it's all about. Now, another 33. When it comes to Hollywood, it's Bo Derek. Again, another 33. By the way, I want to mention, talking about Hollywood, I mentioned this before, but very, very important with these occultists. We're given false meanings for everything once again. We're told they had a grove of holly trees in that area. That's why they named it Hollywood, which is absolutely incorrect. The true meaning of Hollywood, the ancient Druids used to make witches' wands and magic wands out of holly trees. So that's how you derive the name Hollywood. Hollywood is nothing more than witchcraft. Okay, just to carry on a bit more. I'm going to get back on topic with Nirvana. But let's continue on here with another character on the world stage. A very important person I want to get into. The whole concept of Club Number 9. I'll get into that. Explain this first with Joan Rivers' fake name. Besides hiding her Jewish heritage, changing her name from Joan Alexandra Molinsky to Joan Rivers for a reason. Born in 1933. You get your 33, and you get your 33 with Joan Rivers. Understand, they don't devise these concepts out of thin air. There's always a reason to get your 33. Okay? And also, she supposedly passed away at 81. You get your 8 and 1 and 9. I'm going to get to that in a little bit with Club Number 9. It's not Club 27. It's really Club Number 9, and there's a reason for that. Now, taking a look at, again, another member of Club Number 9, and that is Robin Williams with the diamond sign. The double horns, the guy next to him, dual double horns. Nothing but a sellout. Wouldn't make it on top of this world in Hollywood if he didn't sell out long ago. Just taking a look here at Robin Williams. Another member of the Club Number 9. Supposedly passed away at the age of 63. 6 and 3, of course, is 9. And supposedly died on August 11th. August is the 8th month of the year. You get your 811. You get your coded for 88. By the way, just so happens there's 88 spotlights for the lights during their the 9/11 remembrance. The lights in the sky, which they call it. Just another form of mockery with the occult. Now, find it interesting with Robin Williams' name here. You get 66. Basically 3 and 3. Another occultic number, 66. Just like this Grand Sovereign Commander, you get your 33 twice on these diamonds or pyramids. 3 and 3, 3 and 3. Take a look here as well with this hoax. I've covered many times the Chilean miners. They made a movie. When you ever see a movie based on a supposed real life event, you know it's a fabrication. Part of their fabricated history. You get your dual 33s as well. Supposedly 33 trap miners. Give me a break. Nothing but liars, nothing but frauds. Another scene, as I've shown many times, scene from Full Metal Jacket, while you're looking at the prostitute. Right behind her is your dual 33s once again. And you have your eagle for Freemasonry. The eagle or the phoenix right in the back. Taking a look here as well. I found this very interesting. Going back in time to this song, 99 Luftballons, very popular singer from Germany, Nena. Just take a look at what's taking place here. Several things taking place here. Out of nowhere, you get your 33s in the background. Just for whatever reason, they put 2 3s for 33 in the back while she's walking through this supposed minefield. And she mentions Captain Kirk. You get your, of course, C and K for 311. Now, to move on, I'll cover Star Trek a bit. Well, actually, let me continue on here. One other aspect I want to mention with Nina, and you see here during the playing this video, you see the skull and bones earring. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But now getting back to Star Trek, this one scene, this one episode regarding population, the overpopulation of this one so-called planet. What do you see here? You see the diamond shapes. They love the diamond for 33. And you see the people in the back. You see the reflection. They love the mirror image masonry. Taking a look here at this episode called Trouble with Tribbles. The whole entire concept, again, always revolves around masonry when it comes to Gene Roddenberry. Take a look here when it comes to Tribbles. Okay, came up with this concept. Again, did not just pull the name Tribbles out of thin air. It's always based on that 33. Now, before there was Captain Kirk, there was Captain Pike. Like I mentioned earlier, there's Albert Pike. Now you have Captain Pike. You see Captain Pike with Captain Kirk. Okay? And after Star Trek went off the air in 1969, and like I mentioned before in a previous video, this was all about pushing the idea of space. Once they supposedly landed on the moon, they no longer needed Star Trek for the time being. They brought it back in 1987 with Captain Picard. Now, talking about coincidence theorists out there, like I always mentioned, if you think this is just a coincidence, you are definitely a coincidence theorist, with Picard being 33 as well. That's how far they go. These numbers might not mean anything to you. It means the world to them, obviously. Now, take a look, going back in time again with Star Trek, the original series. You know, these characters, the black and white, just all about Freemasonry. And the entire concept of black and white, again, duality. Now, take a look here. Actually, Gene Roddenberry, you see here this 3-foot USS Enterprise. Of course, Masonry is an enterprise. Taking a look here, again, the concept with the Enterprise, the NCC 1701. Again, they don't just pull this out of thin air. He doesn't pull it out of thin air. Take a look here at the Pythagorean numerology chart. You get your NCC. Let's take a look. So using the calculator so you can visually see what's taking place. You get your N, you get your 2 C's, you get your 11, and going back to the Enterprise itself, you get your 11 here, and you add your 1, 7, and 1, and you get your 9. You get your 9, 11 in reverse. Just like, a little bit off topic, just like K9 with police. K is the 11th letter in the alphabet. You get your 9. You get your 9, 11 as well. As, of course, police, as I mentioned many times, police in numerology is 33. So it just shows how they own and control every aspect of our society. Let's take a look here. Again, when it comes to Star Trek, the whole idea, Nazi symbol, again, the skull and bones, and Nazi, the SS, Spock and Kirk. Just another image with this one episode. Mirror, mirror, the evil Enterprise crew. Get your pirate type outfits. It's all about skull and bones. George Bush, Freemasonry, and skull and bones. Taking a look here at the concept of pirates or pirate. You get your 33. Okay? Also taking a look at this photo of Captain Kirk. And you see the Nazi salute as well. Now this is from episode number 33. Okay, it aired in October 1967. They had a remastered version which aired on November 11th. You get, of course, November is the 11th month of the year, so you get your 1111, your 1111, all about Masonry. I found this interesting too. With the production number, you get your 6 and your 9 front and back, and you get your 33 in the middle. Of course, 0 is nothing. Every little detail, all about the occult. Now, taking a look, I find this pretty strange here, this episode of The Devil in the Dark, the caverns of this one mining planet. Of course, when I mentioned the Illuminati, the so-called Illuminati, which is nothing more than Freemasonry. You see Captain Kirk holding a phallic symbol. This is some type of weapon. Give me a break. Totally disgusting. The sick and twisted Illuminati. Illuminated and they're naughty. That's what it's all about. Take a look here. Talking about Freemasonry, the Scottish Rite. highest degree the 33rd, and you see Scotty playing the bagpipes. Okay? Now take a look here as well. Just more examples as I showed before, how they own and control it all, every aspect of our society. The Indy 500, 33 cars you get. 3 rows, 11 deep for 33. Super Bowl power outage from a few years back, the Ravens versus 49ers. 33-minute long delay. Just saying we own it all. With news stories, with El Chapo, nothing but a CIA operative, supposedly digging down 33 feet deep to make his escape. All you need to know or see is that number 33. You know he's owned and controlled by them. Okay? I'm not saying if you have a 33 name you are evil or you're a sellout or you're a Mason, but if you're part of this rigged reality on TV, you are part of the club of 33. Okay, another example here. LAX. I'll get back to Nirvana in a minute. Take a look here. This is another fake news story with a supposedly shooter. The shooting of a LAX officer. Supposedly bled to death for 33 minutes. Like someone had a stopwatch, stood over his bleeding dead body while he's dying, and counted down 33 minutes. Complete insult, complete joke. This is how they love to mock. And again, Freemasonry being international, an international enterprise, the supposed Brussels bombing. You get your supposed 33 pounds of explosives found in the suspect's house. This is just their code saying we're behind it. Okay, Russell Brand, another puppet in the game. He has 33 tattooed on his wrist. Just a mockery of Christ. Long hair as well. Now, getting back to Nirvana, like I said I would, the cult in Euro, this author here, by Julian G. Garr. You get your G 3 times here. Mentioned before, A through Z is 1 through 26. You flip it over around again, and the G is 33. Just like the Green Bay Packers. Just like, of course, the G in Freemasonry is 33. That's how you get the concept. Just like the Golden Gate Bridge as well, the GG for 33 twice. And, of course, it's International Orange. Orange is 33. Now, taking a look here, again at this quote. Another quote from Kurt Cobain. I will get stoned and worship Satan. Okay? You think, oh, he's just joking. He's just messing around. This is very literal. Okay? Look at his arms spread out here. Just a form of mocking Christ being crucified. This is how they do it now. Get another image here with the torn jeans. Just more mockery. He didn't scab his knees falling down. This is, again, all about Moses telling his sons not to tear his clothes. Definitely tore his jeans. Okay, now, this one song that actually got them off the ground, made them famous. It was called Smells Like Teen Spirit. Let's take a look here in Gematria. It just so happens, Smells Like Teen Spirit in Gematria. First result is Pythagoras. And this is the calculator I've been using, the numerology calculator, Pythagorean numerology after Pythagoras. And of course, I'm using Chaldean as well. Let's take a look at the very end of Feels Like Teen Spirit. Just listen to what is said here, and it's 9 times. Very key here. He says a denial 9 times. Take a listen. And again, the concept of doing things in opposites, learning to read and write, and listen to phonographic records backwards comes into play. Explain this. Let's take a listen. So you understand that whole entire concept, again, of why Satanists learn how to do things in reverse. All hidden in plain sight for those that understand the occult. Now, again, getting back to the concept of why it was said 9 times. I showed before, it's from Satan's Service, where Anton LaVey rang a bell counterclockwise before his followers. He rings the bell 9 times. Satan's number is number 9. That's what it's all about. Now, those that still don't believe that Kurt Cobain is a Satanist, take a look at him here in his youth from a home video. In this video, he's wearing a Mr. T mask, but for those that know anything about Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, they'll know this is actually Kurt Cobain right in front of a satanic pentagram lighting these candles. Take a look. Turn on the sound, turn on the volume. You just see what he's doing here. Again, the Mr. T mask, but that's Kurt Cobain. Take a look here. Full into the occult. He knew what he was getting into, knew exactly what he was doing, and knew what Satanism was all about. Now again, showing how number 9 is Satan's number, like love potion number 9, 666 as well. Now take a look at Kurt Cobain here. You see the white of his eyes, and it's all about demon possession. Make no mistake about it. Now, take a look at his daughter. More recently, just not too long ago, just about a week ago, Frances Bean Cobain on why she is fascinated with Satanism. Okay? Runs in the family. Now getting back to the so-called Club 27, it's really Club 9. This is why they do it. This is why they fake all these deaths. Okay? It's 27. 18 would be too young. 1 and 8 is too young. 3 and 6, 4. 9 is a little bit too old. 2 and 7 is a good age for these singers. But with actors, a little bit different story when it comes to, once again, Joan Rivers being 81, being 9. One thing I want to mention as well, the supposed controversy with Michelle or Michael Obama calling him what he really is, a man. Of course, it's the truth. But again, the world's a stage and she's part of it. She did not die. She just, she came out of nowhere after being in the public eye. She was in hiatus for a very long time. Made a reprisal, played a little part, and vanished again from the world stage. No, without a shadow of a doubt, she's not dead. Not yet anyways. Same with Robin Williams. They just go into retirement. Just like the supposed Club 27. Again, nothing more than Club 9. All sellouts. This is how they do it. The people behind the scenes, they're going to give you hints. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. First off, I want to show Kurt Cobain in his youth. Was arrested for spray painting God is Gay. 19 years old. Now talking about the satanic way, doing everything in opposites. Take a look. Kurt Cobain with the dress. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Anthony Kiedis. This guy is right here as well. All wearing dresses. This is of course, all about going against the Bible, where the Bible states how homosexuality is an abomination. So, even if you don't have sexual tendencies for the opposite sex, it's all about doing things the exact opposite whatever the Bible says. Okay? Some more images. Be propped up. You make your turn. You have here Red Hot Chili Peppers and Nirvana together. Some more images here with Flea. Full out sellouts. Kurt Cobain again. Taking a look at Metallica. I'm sorry, this is pretty disgusting. Needs to be shown for reference. Lars Ulrich, Kirk Hammett. You got the Skull and Bones once again. More of the same. James Hetfield is here as well with Ricky Martin. Of course, a homosexual. Got 3 right here. Now, again, getting back to Kurt Cobain to wrap up this video presentation, let's look at the date of his supposed death. Okay, April 5th. Okay, again, Club number 9. Like I said, April, the 4th month of the year, you get your 4 and 5, you get your 9. Again, the 2 and 7, you get your 9 as well. You get your 9, 9, you get your 18, you get your 6, 6, 6. It's all by the numbers, how they do things. Now, predictive programming with the supposed death. They show you Kurt Cobain with a smoking gun from the 1991 album Nevermind. Basically, again, predictive programming. This one is a hoax without a shadow of a doubt. They're telling you, right in plain sight, what's going to supposedly take place with Kurt Cobain using a gun. And of course, by the numbers, take a look. Come as you are. 4 and 5 is 9. Again, Satan's number. Satan's the father of all lies, and they basically emulate Satan. This is what Satanism's all about. Just like Christians, they do their best to be like Christ. That's what Christianity is all about, being Christ-like. And this is what these Satanists do as well. All liars, all deceivers. Take a listen to the lyrics of the song. Where he says he swears he doesn't have a gun. And there you go. Again, just another player on the world stage, Kurt Cobain. Another satanic sellout exposed.
When the truth is found to be lies.
So there's been a lot of talk recently about the death of Anthony Bourdain. Came out over the last week. Darren Aronofsky reflects on filming Death Ritual with Anthony Bourdain for Parts Unknown finale.
Series Marlins with Livan Hernandez pitching, and take a look at the strike zone and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Later on, hopefully I'll get some footage of the Cubs game when it becomes more available online. Let's take a look at this footage right now. You can see the strike zone for Livan Hernandez and see how the umpires are giving him the call. This is against the Braves. Again, back in 1997. Now look at these pitches. Completely out of the strike zone. And umpire Eric Gregg is making all these calls in favor of the Marlins pitcher, Livan Hernandez. Completely ridiculous calls. And that goes to show how these umpires who are in the league, they're like senators in Congress. They're there for 20, 30 years, sometimes even longer. They want to control how these sporting events go. Completely ridiculous with these pitches with Livan Hernandez. This is exactly, and you even heard Bob Costas saying it's nowhere even close to being a strike, and they call it a strike. During the 2013 season, during a live broadcast, this flashed in front of the screen during a live game. And this is the way the elite that control, again, every aspect of society, love to mock the masses with this being put out there. Now listen to what Joe Buck of Fox Sports says here. He talks about how he knows nothing about what these symbols mean. And he talks about the baseball gods. And knowing or unknowingly, those baseball gods, or supposed baseball gods, are nothing but the elite, again, that own and control all of professional sports. Now showing how the elite own and control all of sports, not, like I said, and a little bit more here with the NBA, with David Stern, the NBA commissioner, being in an interview with Jim Rome. I'm going to cover this topic from the 1985 NBA draft, which for those that don't know what happened, with Patrick Ewing being selected number 1. There's a lot of strange things taking place during the live draft on TV. Before I show that footage, let's take a listen to what Jim Rome asked David Stern.
He's won the draft lottery, which of course produced the usual round of speculation that maybe the lottery was fixed. I know that you appreciate a good conspiracy theory as much as the next guy. Was the fix in for the lottery?
I have two answers for that. I'll give you the easy one. No. And a statement. Shame on you for asking.
I understand why you would say that to me, and I wanted to preface it by saying it respectfully. I think it's my job to ask because I think people wonder.
No, it's ridiculous, but that's okay.
I know that you think it's ridiculous, but I don't think the question is ridiculous because I know people think that. I'm not saying that I do, but I think it's my job to ask you that.
Have you stopped beating your wife yet?
Yeah, I don't know if that's fair.
Well, why is that?
Because I think that and I know you read your emails, and I'm sure you follow things virally and on Twitter. People really do think it, whether it's fair.
You see how David Stern Instead of answering the question, he attacks Jim Rome about beating his wife. This guy is obviously being, put under the spotlight. He's being exposed. He's getting very defensive, trying to get, conversation off track and trying to make it a childish, fight, diverting off the question.
Or not?
Well, they think it because people...
You don't think the question's fair to ask if your fans think it?
Silly questions. I expect it to be written about, and, I commented last night at my presser that there was one guy who I won't dignify by name. He says, I have no reason to know anything, and I don't know anything, but I tell you, I believe it's fixed. Okay, that's good. Why?
Now let's take a look at the 1980 film with that number 33 jersey, and of course orange as well. Orange, of course, is 33 in numerology. These people, these plants, Freemasonry. That's why you get that 33. All these news stories, and with a lot of these company logos, they're going to have hidden messages. With this one here from Microsoft, you can see that 33 hidden in plain sight. On the music industry as well, which is Justin Timberlake, 3 and 3 equals 33. Hollywood, with Matt Groening of The Simpsons. Indy 500 with 33 cars. Of course, they have that checkered flag as well. And of course, the infamous power outage at the Super Bowl. The power being out for 33 minutes. This is their way, these Freemasons, saying we own and control it all. In this form of mockery, this is how they do it, all in plain sight. And take a look at this play with the Seahawks player giving the thumbs up, as in, go over me, miss the tackle, so I can go ahead and score. Completely ridiculous. If you can't see this, there's no help for you. Slow motion, thumbs up, player goes over the top. Again, there's a thumbs up. In this play here, after this missed tackle by number 33, player there comes in to score. This is the same play, just a little different angle where you can see the player score. Again, thumbs up. And he goes up high over his helmet. And there you go. Touchdown.
On the schedule? Let's see. Hank Williams Jr. Oh.
Are you ready for some football?
Know that there's some things you don't write about and you don't talk about because you'll lose your job. And that's where the control is. And that's why they pay anchormen like Dan Rather $2 million a year. Because he doesn't question them. He knows that if he goes against them, he's going to lose $2 million a year. Do you think a man that looks pretty and sits in front of a TV camera for the 6 o'clock news is worth $2 million a year? No way. I don't care how long he works and I don't care what he does. There is no job worth $2 million a year. That's why they pay athletes these fantastic salaries. I was listening to the radio the other day. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. Can you believe this?
And why is that?
It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. And he has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world, so that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is, so they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated, so they don't ever question the emperor. That's why they pay a player on a football team or a baseball team $1 million or $2 million or $3 million a year. It is the Roman circus. I know men who don't know anything in the world except who plays third base for the Mets. And they think that's a great accomplishment. And they meet and pat each other on the back and bond and go have cocktails and talk about what this guy that plays third base for the Mets did in last night's game. It's sad. It's really sad.
Is there any room in a kind of society where these manipulations are not taking place for this type of entertainment or any type of entertainment at all?
If people understand that a game is a game, if people understand that nobody, no matter what they do, is worth paying $2 or $3 million a year for.
And right after the game, she said, "See, I did a lot of work. You do your work, I do mine." She said, "You're lucky you married a witch. I'm just a good witch."
Matthew 6:6-7. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. But when ye pray, use not vain repetitions, as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking.
Since OJ, his name's been in the media a lot lately, with him supposedly being released from prison, going on parole. They say starting in October. One thing needs to be made clear: the man's not in jail. Okay, he never spent a day in prison. This is nothing more, again, than a fabrication going back to the original trial. Like I said, I covered it. I was the first one to call this out, make a video and say this was nothing more than, again, a divide and conquer psyop, and OJ being nothing more than a puppet, nothing more than an actor. Just as you see here with O.J. Simpson playing an astronaut in the movie Capricorn 1. Faking going to Mars, just like they faked going to the moon in our rig reality. Now let's take a look here at this recent news clip from ABC and see what they have to say. And you're going to see the numbers. You're going to hear the numbers as always.
O.J. Simpson, soon to be a free man, sitting before the parole board today as millions watched and studied his walk into that room and his every answer. Simpson had been serving up to a 33-year sentence for that armed robbery in Las Vegas.
Yeah, armed robbery, supposed armed robbery, stealing back his own merchandise, going to prison for stealing back his own merchandise, while supposedly not going to prison for killing his wife or ex-wife, Nicole. And again, the number 33 is always there with these hoaxes and these psyops. Now, let's take a look at the drama in the courtroom with OJ's former business associate and friend. And this is staged as staged gets. Take a look.
Tears from Simpson as his accuser made a plea on his behalf.
This is a good man. He made a mistake. And if he called me tomorrow and said, "Bruce, I'm getting out. Will you pick me up?" Juice, I'll be here tomorrow.
Now look at OJ, this fake crying.
I mean that, brother.
Give me a break.
Simpson in his seat, tears of gratitude.
Now take a look here. This is the hearing itself with the parole being granted. Take a listen and take a look.
On all of that, Mr. Simpson, I do vote to grant parole when eligible, and that will conclude this hearing.
Thank you.
Never spent a day in prison, nothing more than a psyop. Now, going back in time, as I covered before, like I said, with the whole entire O.J. Simpson case, again, nothing more than a divide and conquer psyop. It split the country 50-50, and this is what it's all about. Keeping the masses divided, it keeps the eyes off those that rule. Take a listen.
The story of O.J. Simpson goes to the heart of the racial divide in America.
This was the first wall-to-wall televised trial, the perfect soap opera.
It's all
I'm Jim Moran. Los Angeles court is once again in session.
Reporter Jim Murray covered the trial for CNN.
It was something that you had to watch. You have a football hero. You have a beautiful blonde ex-wife. You have a good-looking young man who's killed. If you wrote this drama, no one would believe it.
If you wrote this drama, no one would believe it. This is, again, fake news with CNN going back in time. It's nothing new. It's not like they're giving you the truth. All of a sudden, they decided recently to give you fake news. They've been doing this from the inception. Let's continue on here, again, with the mockery.
Believe it. If you wrote this drama, no one would believe it. Objection is sustained.
The bearded judge, Lance Ito, with those signature specs. just one of a bizarre set of characters who became a household name.
Bizarre set of characters, and Kato Kaelin, of course, an actor like they all are, and I'll get to that in a little bit.
You couldn't cast this trial any better.
Yeah, telling the absolute truth. Take a look at OJ here. This is not regarding, of course, the murder trial. This is regarding stealing back his own merchandise in Las Vegas. And look at, again, that big grin. Do you think he's worried about spending 33 years in prison? Of course not. Never spent a day in prison. Again, take a look at the eyes. He's too busy golfing. And you can see the white of his eyes, of course, wearing sunglasses as he's playing golf. And going back in time to the original case. And the masses, the millions upon millions of zombies, not only this country, but the world, they'll never get it. They see OJ smile in the courtroom. You think he's stressed? You think he's worried? Absolutely not. Again, nothing more than a hoax. And everybody involved, not just OJ, like I showed earlier, as an astronaut. Okay, everybody involved with this case, they're actors or became actors, because that's all this trial was. Nothing more than an act. Think of Gil Garcetti, the DA for Los Angeles. And what did he turn out to be? An actor in Hollywood and a producer. Okay, his son, of course, becoming the mayor of LA. It's not what you know, it's who you know when it comes down to it. Also, you see this one photo here of Gil Garcetti and doing the Freemasonic sign of silence. Just like Arnell Simpson, the daughter of OJ, clearly doing the same Masonic hand sign. Just like you see others in Hollywood and the music industry, such as Adam Sandler. The masses doesn't mean anything. It just means be quiet. But it's, again, how the elite work and their puppets. It's all about, again, signs and symbols. And Adam Sandler himself, notice the red and blue. Red and blue make purple when you combine them for royalty. And Adam Sandler being a 33 name, just like Simpson is a 33 name, which I'll get into later on. And taking a look, going back in time to the original trial in LA. You see Marcia Clark, Christopher Darden, and Johnny Cochran. And they're all buddy-buddy on this event, this world stage event. And Marcia Clark, also an actress in this one TV movie or TV series titled Pretty Little Liars. Christopher Darden as well, as I shown here. He was in Jim Carrey's movie Liar, Liar. How fitting. Okay, everybody involved here. Nothing more than actors. And like I mentioned, he had a small cameo appearance in Jim Carrey's Liar, Liar. And of course, Kato Kaelin, like I showed earlier, it's no secret that he played the role of an actor. And they don't even try to hide that fact. Here he is in this one movie back in 1987 titled Beach Fever. And how the media is involved, of course, with CNN. 100% complicit in this hoax, this psyop, this sham of a trial. Take a closer look at this audio book by OJ while he was in jail during the trial itself. And take a look again. Time Warner. Again, this is what you call a conflict of interest, and also the price tag of $9.99. You flip it over, and of course you get the occultic 666 in plain sight. Now, getting onto the occultic side with this trial, and take a look at the Ford Bronco, which is all about the occult of the white horse, the white Bronco. Just like what I covered in the past, going back to 2014, with all these hoaxes and saps throughout the media, not only in the U.S., throughout the world. When you had the so-called Sydney Siege, 13 people taken hostage in Martin Place Cafe. Okay, and you got the occult of 777, which I'll get into. But I want to stick to the occultic side of the white Bronco. Okay, the white horse. Just like you see here with 7 Network Australia. And this is the time of the Sydney Siege. They're covering it. And they always have their Easter eggs in plain sight. Well, people are focusing on these people here. Take a look around. Again, the Easter eggs. Take a closer look. As I covered before, where you have a clock, and again, the white horse or the white Bronco and the clock position exactly at 9:11. Okay, and of course the white horse is a reference to the biblical verse from Revelation 6:2. And I saw and behold a white horse. He that sat on him had a bow, a crown was given unto he went forth conquering and to conquer. And this is a reference to the Antichrist, just like 9:11 on the clock, which is huge when it comes to the occult. And when it comes to the occult means simply the hidden. And the hidden meaning is from the Bible, where these occultists love to take from the Bible and code things in plain sight, of course, like I just showed. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit. Understand, there are good and bad angels, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, and in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon or Apollo. So Apollo being the Antichrist. And again, so it's very clear to see what they're doing here. And of course, with the so-called elite owning and controlling all of the media, and these are just basically nothing more than teleprompter readers when it comes down to it and everything they do. Again, there's a reason. They don't just throw up these little decorations for nothing, what people might think. They love to code things in place. Now, getting back to the cult of 777, when it basically comes down to, in Gematria, 777 is Order Out of Chaos, just like this one book by Aleister Crowley. And you see here other puppets in the game, in the World Matrix, with Michael Jackson and the 777 on the sleeve. Of course, he did not devise this. It's given to him. His songs were given to him. His dance moves were given to him. He's nothing more than a puppet. That's all he is. Just like Rihanna. And you see the tour, the 777 tour, countries, days, and shows, 777. And it's not her thinking, not her idea. Just like I said with Michael Jackson, the same exact thing. They're just puppets. That's all they are. Just like OJ, just like everybody in Hollywood and the music industry. And here you see Rihanna again. And the occult of doing things in reverse backwards. Live is evil. So you have Rihanna 777, evil coded. Now, moving on here, and to the OJ case once again, getting back on topic, let's take a look. Now, with this interview conducted by CNN with Kim Goldman and Fred Goldman, of course, Kim being the sister and Fred supposedly being the father of Ron Goldman. And this is complete theatrics in this 100% fabricated story. Take a listen.
Didn't you spot Simpson in a parking lot at some point?
I did. I had my foot on the pedal. I was white knuckling the steering wheel, and I was revving, thinking I could take him out. I'm the only one. There's nobody here. I could do this. I could do this.
Did you really send him a card saying welcome to your new home?
Mm-hmm.
Did you really send him a card saying welcome to your new home?
Mm-hmm. It's all the fun we can have here.
Completely ridiculous, from seeing OJ in the parking lot and the thought of running him over, and the whole entire story about sending OJ a card, welcome to prison. I mean, it's so ridiculous, and people don't question anything. Because, of course, like I showed many times, with this quote from Richard Nixon, the American people don't believe anything until they see it on television. They don't question anything. Their first thought is, why would they lie to us? And that is to control you. That's to divide us and to control the masses. This is how the few control the many. Again, divide and conquer. Going back to 1998, O.J. Simpson did an interview with this American woman who's more well known in the UK by the name of Ruby Wax. Take a look at O.J. in the back here. Give me a break. Now, I always talk about the rigged reality and the number 33. The reason Ruby Wax was selected to do this documentary, this interview session with O.J., because Ruby Wax is 33 in Pythagorean numerology. Now, if you think all these 33s are just a coincidence, you're definitely a coincidence. There's without a doubt. Okay? In denial, don't want to believe or accept the fact that you've been deceived in this world full of lies, nothing but lies and deception by those that own and control it. Again, this is nothing more than a divide and conquer news story, again with OJ being an actor. Now take a look here as well, as Ruby Wax meets OJ at his house, and you see the Masonic handshake. You get your 33 with Ruby Wax, and like I said, Simpson 33 as well, and all the corresponding numbers. Now this takes the cake as far as mockery. Take a listen to this segment, the very end, Ruby Wax and OJ during this interview segment. Take a listen to what Ruby Wax says here. 100% complete mockery with OJ.
After we finished filming, OJ said to me that he had a surprise for me, and I genuinely was surprised. I think it was his idea of a joke, and this is it.
This is OJ's way of saying, you've been had, you've been bamboozled, nothing but a hoax, nothing but a psyop. We fooled you all. This is what's taken place. Many have seen this and said, oh, OJ's he's just being a jerk, he's heartless, he doesn't care about Nicole. No, has nothing to do with that. This is, again, their way of mocking. This is what they're all about. World deceived. Now, what I find interesting is, again, after covering the O.J. Simpson case many, many times over the years, this one music video came out. It was by a band called Avenged Sevenfold, called The Stage. And you see the stage, you see the all-seeing eyes, and the title here, Fantastical History of the World. And who do you see as part of the world stage in this music video? Take a look.